chaotic culture, that's the world we living in. So what's the word?
Well, here we are again. As I take a sip of this water, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Ked the Pro from the Chaotic Culture Podcast. Once again, this is wasn't intended to be a full blown episode. It may still be a bonus. It may even be a full blown episode. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I just know that I will release it here. I am I'm toe up, y'all. I'm heartbroken. And this week I didn't really fully intend on actually doing an episode. I had full intention on taking a rest this week, getting my energy back up. I'm doing some crazy stuff with my job. I was fatigued. I was tired. I overslept part of one of the days going to work. It was just a whole mess. And I'm just like, man, I don't know if I even have the energy to do an episode this week, but I did think about, well, you know what? I could do a bonus episode and we could talk about how Drake is the biggest loser yet again, because we all know that his case got dismissed. And whether he decides to appeal the verdict or not, obviously the judge found it as non-actionable opinion. So it's like, what can you do really? But that being said, that was really going to be the context of the bonus episode that I did, and I may still do that. But clearly, I'm here today to talk about something different, and it's somebody more important to the culture than Aubrey Drake Graham. I am here really to discuss the impact that Michael Eugene Archer, aka D'Angelo, had on my life, and just how big of a shock it was learning of his passing today. At the time of recording, it is Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. And today we received the news that D'Angelo had passed after a private battle with pancreatic cancer. And my mind was blown. I was completely shocked, overwhelmed. I I didn't know how to feel. Now, I don't really cry over celebrity deaths. I did cry twice for celebrities, one for Michael Jackson and one for Chadwick Boseman. But I do get broken up about a lot of celebrities, and D'Angelo is one that I was really broken up about. It is so crazy hearing that news. I got the text message from my brother while I was at work, and I was just floored. I was like, "What? Ain't no way." I go to social media and it's all over the place. And it's very, very harrowing, especially as a black man, knowing that the three biggest cancers that we have to deal with are prostate cancer, colon cancer, and pancreatic cancer. And it really just it hit me in a way that it shouldn't have. For one, it hit me because D'Angelo is literally the godfather of neo soul. You don't have the neo soul R&B movement in the 90s without D'Angelo, without his music, without his pen, without his creativity, without his versatility, without his musical ability. That man could play multiple instruments. Matter of fact, most of Brown Sugar is him playing instruments and combining them together. His musical production skills were beyond phenomenal. You really don't get the neo soul movement without him. You don't get it without brown sugar. You don't get it solidified without voodoo. And then Black Messiah, that's an entirely different story. But it's crazy. This man wrote so much music, was featured on so much music, but only had 3 albums. And yet, everybody will tell you those 3 albums are absolute classics. D'Angelo didn't say much because I know he felt that his music could say more, and it said a lot. Even on songs where he's not really talking a lot, like on Brown Sugar, excuse my language, shit damn motherfucker. That song says a lot without saying a lot. If you know, you know. If you're picking up what I'm putting down. But think of it like this from my perspective. I was 4 years old when Brown Sugar dropped. Yet I could tell you that my brother collected like a lot of CDs. When I say a lot of CDs, it was a lot. Like back in the day during the 90s, how we used to have like the big CD cases, even in the 2000s, how we had the big CD cases. You could flip through my brother's CD case and there just be a ton of great music. And D'Angelo was one of those albums, or Brown Sugar to be more specific. And I can just tell you how much that album meant to me as a 4 year. I'm 4 years old, and I'm blown away by this music. Now I know some of y'all probably looking at me like, "Man, kid, that's cat, man. How you remember you being 4 years old?" Listen, I have flashes of memories when I was two, so let's just leave it at that. But still, something that powerful that it sticks to your memory from when you were 4 years old. That's saying a lot about his music. Brown Sugar was one of the first, like, R&B songs that I can remember singing as a kid, not even knowing that the song Brown Sugar was about weed, but still singing it. And it's crazy because there's a lot of songs out there that we had no business singing as kids. Brown Sugar was definitely ain't one of them. If you were singing Brown Sugar as a kid, you really should not have been singing that song because, again, it's about weed. But still, it is just crazy hearing about that. And as a black person who grew up on his music, that hurts. Like, it really, really hurts. And I know his fans right now are really hurt. I know his friends are really hurting right now, especially those who made music with him. Between Raphael Sadiq, between Maxwell, between Jill Scott, between Erica Badu, between new artists even like her. Oh, I know they hurting. And I know other friends like Busta Rhymes, oh, I know he's hurting right now. I know all the artists of Virginia, especially out of Richmond. Oh man, they got to be hurting right now. This is crazy. 51 years old. That is still young. That is still very young by our terms. And once again, I've said this multiple times on multiple episodes that black artists deserve to live until they are old and gray. 51 ain't old. It's not. I've got a sister who's 52. I've got a brother in his 40s. I myself I'm in my 30s. 50 is not old. I really wish that a lot of these artists could live until their late 70s, their 80s, up to their 90s, man. And we don't get a lot of that. Especially artists who create timeless music and music that means something. And I know that D'Angelo was very, very particular about the kind of music that he wanted to release. I know in a recent interview, he said that he wanted Yahweh to lead him in making his next album, and he didn't exactly know where God was going to lead him to specifically as far as the concept of the album, but he was letting God lead him. And it's just still so crazy because we never got a chance to hear that. And I personally don't know if he was still signed under a label because he disappeared from the industry for so long and for quite some time after Voodoo, just because he was not used to that kind of spotlight and the fame, and all of that just got to him, so he just retreated. And I don't blame him because the music industry itself can be very debilitating on your soul and on your psyche and on your mind and on your heart. It's just I know that he himself was not ready for that kind of fame, or at least the kind of fame that Voodoo bought him. I know that D'Angelo as a person and as a character would much rather be in the background and just perform for the fans and perform for the people that loved his music, as opposed to dealing with superstardom. That's not the kind of person that D'Angelo was. And yet still, you could tell that he really still wanted to make good music. And well, again, I don't know if he was under a label right now. So I don't know if they will release any music posthumously. And I don't know what his estate will say, if that's even allowed or if he even wanted that. But it is still insane. It just, I still can't believe it. It boggles the mind. It really just does. When you hear someone so great, someone so phenomenal, someone who had a strong spirit, someone who was magic in both person and in music, and hearing that they're no longer walking this side of earth. I need to drink some water. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And it really just puts life into perspective, because at any point in time, God could call us home. And it's really just harrowing to think. Not only that, but pancreatic cancer is one of the most painful cancers to deal with. I know that brother was in pain. And then I know his son Michael was is going through it, because he lost both of his parents within the calendar year. So losing both your father and your mother, who is Angie Stone, has really, really, really got to be hurting him. And I pray that he is surrounded by other family and friends to keep him uplifted, because losing your parents, not even 12 months apart, I know that is doing something to his mental right now. I I don't even know, y'all. I just don't know. I thought I would have like more words, but I'm just at a loss. So what I will do is just talk about his albums and what that really meant to me when they were dropping. For one, let's go back to Brown Sugar for a second, because oh my god, what a phenomenal debut album. We talking, first off, Brown Sugar, all right, banger. Jones in My Bones, ooh, Me and Those Dreaming Eyes of Mine. Such a beautiful song. Of course, the aforementioned Shit Damn Motherfucker. Smooth. The His cover of Smokey Robinson's Cruising. Oh my god, bro. That is one of the best covers ever. I know that we don't talk a lot about covers, and honestly, we should do an episode on what is better, the original or the cover. But Cruising is definitely one of the best covers ever, bar none. I don't care. You can debate your mama on that. When We Get By is such a beautiful song. I got When We Get By on a lot of my playlists. So yeah, and then of course, Lady. Like, I can't say anything else about that song. Like, Lady is just one of those ones. Shout out to Raphael Sadiq for partnering with him on that song, because yeah, Lady is that joint. I wish I could play it on this podcast, but I'm not trying to get hit with a copyright strike. Sorry, Virgin Records, y'all not about to hit me with that, but still. And then of course the album ends with Higher, and it is still such a phenomenal song. Like that is the first album is literally only 10 songs, and it is so beautifully crafted. And then there's Voodoo. Oh my God, Voodoo. Voodoo is only 13 songs, and it is just phenomenal. I mean, you got Play. You got Devil's Pie. Oh my God, you got Left and Right. Uh, just talking about some of the ones that I love. You got The Root. Ooh, Jesus. Spanish joint, feeling like making love, man. And then his most, I guess his most iconic song, which is Untitled, aka How Does It Feel? And is it his best song? Is debatable, but it's definitely his most iconic one, and definitely his most iconic video. If you know, you know. I mean, I ain't gonna sit here and talk about it, but I'm pretty sure the ladies will. So there's that. And then Africa, Voodoo is a classic. It is such a masterpiece of an album, and it's no wonder that it brought him such fame. And I can understand because when you listen to this album, you're gonna be like, whoa. And then the fact that he had to retreat back to being a recluse after this because the amount of fame this album brought him. Like it was crazy what this thing did to his mental. So yeah, and then you get Black Messiah, and oh, Black Messiah came 14 years later. 14 years later, bro. And it was still phenomenal from start to finish. From Ain't That Easy, 1,000 Deaths, The Charade, Sugar Daddy. Really love. Like that's really love is my joint. Back to the Future, parts 1 and 2, Till It's Done, Prayer. I mean, what another life, The Door, Betray My Heart. Like, come on, man. But Black Messiah, bro. D'Angelo and the Vanguard, they was on it with this album, man. Three great albums. And we not even talking about like D'Angelo's features. Obviously, the feature with Lauryn Hill, Nothing Really Matters. Peak. Great music. The music that he had with Raphael Sadiq, I'm like, man, they should have had a collab album. It's a shame we never got something like that. Uh, it's really just hard to talk about because this man was literally like making great music. This man had I Found My Smile Again. That song ain't talked about enough. This man had a song on Red Dead Redemption 2, Unshaken. Boy, if you listen to that song, you just like, yo, this man was a genius and such a pure soul. And it's crazy that we lost him like this. Man, I've said F cancer so many times. It's crazy. And I will continue to say it because it is such a terrible disease that has taken so many people. And I really want us to find a cure for it. I really hope that we can find a cure for it. Despite the fact that our government has cut cancer research, I'm hoping that it didn't cut it enough to where we can find a cure for cancer, especially pancreatic cancer, which is one of the worst ones. Man. Oof. I don't know how y'all feeling, but I'm just so overwhelmed. This man's music really meant something to me. And the fact that we will never get something like that ever again. I'm hoping that in future generations to come, that they will have their own artists who can start pretty much their own subsection of a genre and make it so well respected and well loved that people will listen to it for generations. But I know me and the generation I grew up with and the generation before me, oh, D'Angelo was one of them ones. He was one of them ones. And to lose him at such a young age is craziness, man. It's crazy. And I see why he had canceled appearances at some of these festivals and picnics like the Stone Soul picnic and whatnot, because he was dealing with pancreatic cancer. And I can only imagine the pain that his family's going through. And to lose D'Angelo and Angie Stone in again the same year is nuts. Now, whether you have certain views on Angie Stone and D'Angelo's relationship, I get it because Angie was quite a bit older than he was, and yeah, some people are right to think that it might be the G word. But that being said, a son still lost his mother and his father, and I can only pray that their son is surrounded with nothing but love and safety, and I'm hoping that he can find some sort of peace. But at the moment, I know that he's grieving right now because he lost an icon of a mother and a giant of a father. And I'm not going to hold y'all much longer. I just want to leave y'all with this. Whatever you do in this world, just make sure that it lasts and make sure that it is positive. And I say that to say, whatever you create in this world, just make sure that it has a positive, lasting effect on your family, on your friends, and that it is something that they can cherish forever. Yes, D'Angelo, the person, is gone, but his music is going to live forever. The message in his music is going to live forever. And I hope that all of us out here, whether we are in our late teens, early 20s, late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, and even those who are in their 40s, 50s, and beyond, I hope that all of us can create something that will benefit our communities in positive ways, that our community can continue to grow. And not only that, but just something that they can enjoy. D'Angelo created timeless music. And I mean that. He created timeless music and was the godfather of a timeless genre. And I don't think that we will get that kind of creativity in music ever again, at least not in my lifetime. And if we do get it in my lifetime, I hope it's not when I'm old and gone. I'm hoping that I can experience something like that as an older adult and as I get older. I'm hoping that when I do have kids, they will be able to experience something like that. Because, yeah, I don't think you're going to find anybody with as much musical ability and creativity as D'Angelo. You might find some that get close, but I don't think you're going to find anybody that's going to touch that kind of creativity. At least not in the short term. Maybe long term, but who knows? So that's all that I got for y'all. Again, I didn't want to hold y'all long. I'll post this on YouTube. I'll post this on all the streaming and all the DSPs for y'all to listen to it. I'm just hurt. I'm hurt, but I'm glad I got a chance to experience such great and powerful music from such a great and powerful person. And I hope that his music has affected you the same way that it's affected my life. I want to thank my brother for introducing D'Angelo to me at such a young age, and that I was able to carry that through because D'Angelo's music really has such an impact on my life that is why I appreciate quality music as opposed to quantitative. It's why I want my artists to put their all into something instead of just playing it by the numbers. Do something that you're passionate about. Create music that you're passionate about and let us absorb that passion and creativity. But anyway, guys, be sure that you like and share and subscribe to the Chaotic Culture Podcast. Please be sure that you follow us on all of our social media accounts. Please be sure, of course, that you subscribe to the Patreon. Of course, Patreon will see this episode first. The rest of y'all will see it later. In any case, follow us on Facebook at Chaotic Culture Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Chaotic Culture Pod. Follow us on X/Twitter at Chaotic Culture One, and then of course follow us on BSky at chaoticculture.bsky.social. You can follow me, Ked the Pro, K3D the Pro on all social media, and of course you can follow all of my co-hosts on their respective social medias. If you've watched my podcast, you know the social medias by now at this point. But anyway, guys, please be sure that you take care of yourself. And to my black man, please be sure that you take care of your health. Go to the doctor, get checked up. I'm about to hit 35 soon, so I know when I hit that age, I got to start getting regular checkups for my prostate, for my colon, and I'm definitely going to try to get my pancreas checked out because, yeah, I want to be sure that I'm maintaining my health as much as I possibly can. So please be sure that you get your health checked out on a consistent basis. Don't wait too long to go to the doctor. Just do it because you never know. You never know. And that's what I really want to leave you with, guys. So until next time, folks, remember, embrace the culture. Chaos rules. Be blessed. Be safe. God is love. I'm out of here. Deuces.
So what's the word?
You are now tuned in to the Chaotic Culture Podcast. And